Alrighty, welcome back to the RLT YouTube channel. We got another week of League gameplay here. We're going to be looking at some Purple Steel versus Blurple. We're going to have Purple Steel on the play here, Blurple on the draw. So looking at this opening, Purple Steel looking to pitch 4 to keep 2. Personally, I'm just keeping a 1-drop and looking for strength here. That's your swing card. That's what you want to see. The Pocahontas is great in this matchup, but realistically, Purple Steel having that strength, hitting it on 3 against Blurple, especially on the play, is where they get their tempo. That's what I'd be going for. We get the hand back. We have the character cost curve, but no strength. So we'll see how this plays out. Ink the hook, play the all off. Super fair against Blurple. We don't need hook early, or really not till late game. He might get useless, is fine. Ink another hook into the Pocahontas basic. We're facing a Basil. They're never turning that sideways. That's their momentum swinger with Elsa down the line, maybe Genie. So we're chilling. We would like to see a strength here. Either Blurple doesn't have ramp, or they're deciding. Nope, they probably just deciding which ramp card they play here. So ink that, let it go. They did let it go. Put it in and go. GG is a 3-drop here is fantastic because if they do not play an Iago, that Genie that might come down or the Dumbo is just in immediate danger. So GG possesses a major threat in this matchup, especially to curve. Isis is a big swing here. Makes sense taking out the Pocahontas. It's just a good trade, good body. And when you know we get the strength, I'm probably looking to hold that strength and play that. I think I'm making the Elsa there, playing the Genie. Next turn, knowing I can take that Isis offline with the strength, get that tempo that we talked about earlier. They've opted not to do that. I think this is fine, but again, strength to me is the momentum shift. We are going to take out the Basil, which is fine because it now doesn't let the Elsa come back the other way and swing down the Genie. I wouldn't quest here with GG. I don't think we need to be doing that. GG is a threat. Letting Isis to swing through that, the Blurple player is going to take that all day. So yeah, leave that upright. That's the correct call. We force them to have the Elsa to tap down the GG if that's the way they want to go. If not, it just creates more tempo for us on Purple Steel here. So we look again, Blurple player maybe has ink decisions or card priority. Not really sure what to ink, probably weighing the options here. Does have the Elsa, does take the GG. And we force them to have it. The Genie then stays protected because they couldn't tap down both, and it's just an overall good situation here for us here on Purple Steel. I think we're not going to swing here. If we swing and they have a Cheshire Cat, the punish is just so heavy, so we're not doing that. Genie back, it's interesting because it kind of tells me the Blurple player doesn't have a great curve here. It's not necessarily what they want to be seeing on their 5-6 ink turns. So again, as Purple Steel, we're okay seeing that. The Rafiki Genie pass to me says that if that last card's not a Demona, they are probably in some danger. So force them to have it. Play that Calhoun, play the Doc. Don't give them the Demona back. Refill. And from here, I think we could just sit on this hand for next turn. I think that the Hades poses a threat for next turn to start getting high on evasives, and then we have the Doctor reload either way. So I think this is a really solid turn for Purple Steel. From here, though, it comes down to see if Blurple has the Demona. If they have the Demona, it's still iffy because realistically, they could take out the Genie, they could take out the Calhoun, and no Demona. They have a book. So from this turn on, Purple Steel's momentum is just really in a place it's happy with. And if we can find a way to take out this Dumbo within a turn, I think we are just thrilled. And again, great priority there. Force him to bury it, which also tells us he then has a draw card because he's not losing that Dumbo if he does not. So I would be prepping for a Demona realistically at this point. The next turn I'd be questing everything because I just don't think you relinquish the Dumbo with 1 card in hand if you don't have it. So again, I think this is a turn that the Purple Steel player needed to be questing and going more aggressive because again, if I'm reading this correctly, you're just not giving up Dumbo that easily if you don't have the out to draw. We'll see if it's right. If not, Purple Steel is just going to win this. No Demona. Alrighty. So that could have been, you know what? They're rewarded for not going outright. I don't know if I would have done that, but it worked out in their favor. And now we're just going wide as Purple Steel. Blurple cannot deal with width efficiently. We know the Blurple player has no cards in hand. And now we're just going to put them in a position where realistically, if they want to
trade through anything, we're going to make it on terms we want. The stock going sideways is fine. We can afford to do it. It doesn't necessarily, like, these docs don't need to go sideways here because it just gives options for that Cheshire Cat to pick up value elsewhere. But I think the Purple Steel player's thought process here is if that happens and they do choose to pinch and Olaf with that 2 damage or that 1 damage it would pick up, then they would be able to pick up the dock they have left ready, draw more cards, and keep tempo. So it's not the worst play. Might not be necessary here, but I don't necessarily hate what it sets up. It's fine. And again, the Blurple player here is just not... These Dumbo draws are really going to be make or break for them at this point in the game. They need to see more draw at this point because out of the book they've played, out of the first Dumbo that came down and now this, it's just... It's not where they want to be. And again, we're opening up the board now, which is fine. Again, I just don't think, like, for those 2 lore, we need to lose those 2 docks. And yeah, like, again, for him to have the second cat there is fortunate, just to be able to take out the Calhoun, move both ones. But again, Purple Steel is just in a really fine place here. There's not a lot to chill. They have the width. And I think within 1 Cheshire Cat or 1 strength or 1 song to kind of take some momentum here, they could be in a very, very healthy position. Even then, they appear to be up 5-2 on the lore totals, 5-3. They're not in risk here. And we did draw the Demona. And I think we have to go use that Demona at this point. Take the Cheshire Cats off the board and really just establish if the Blurple player here wants to trade, they're going to have to be doing it in a 1-to-1 capacity. And not get that Cheshire Cat value. So they do opt for that. I think that's very correct here. We're going to draw 3. A song would have been just fantastic here. If we could have found a strength, it probably decides the game, being able to take a clean trade in that capacity. Now we're working on how we're going to deal with the board state. So it looks like he's thinking that Christopher Robin of the Hades into 1 cat, the 2 Olafs into the other. Take out the Dumbo potentially to stop the draw, which I don't think is necessarily the best move here, just because, again, the Genie Elsa can swing back the other way and just double trade that. So I don't love that trade. I do love taking out the cats, though. I just think I would have been a little more patient to what the output is. Yeah, because then the cats go. And yeah, the downside here is looking at this board state. The Blurple player now has 4 cards. That Rafiki's taking out the Hades. You're going to lose both your Elsa and Genie. And the Blurple player really can start taking control back here. So I think the biggest thing I would have done differently there was just not swing into the Dumbo. I think that part really enabled the Blurple player to take control back in this matchup. If that Genie and that Elsa just stay upright, and the only thing he can take a good trade on here is the Hades, I think we're just in a way stronger position overall. But again, leaving those trades is just too strong. The Devona goes sideways, so Stone by Night, Gargoyle, whatever it is not going to let her go sideways. And again, we lose the Genie, we lose the Elsa, and board control has now gone fully back to the Blurple player. And that's just not where you want to be. I think that turn could have resulted a lot more. The draw here is an Angel, which is pretty good. We have enough ink to get both the Angel and the Elsa out, which again is really fortunate, quite frankly, because we're going to be able to take out both the Genie and the Elsa with 3 and 2 on it respectfully. He does opt for the Genie here first, which is interesting. I don't dislike it. Makes sense though, because he does not have the ink in hand. No. He did not have the ink in hand to play the Elsa. Also, you know what? Fair play. I think that's fine. Take the 1 trade, establish the other evasive, leave yourself with 2 cards in hand so that Demona can come up next turn. Really fair. If we did have that extra inkable card in hand leading into the turn, I think there could have been an argument for the Elsa just to take out the second Elsa on the Blurple player side. Again, being able to take 2 bodies would have been a really great tempo swing. And we're looking at a quad Elsa board state, which is, I love to run the odds on how attainable that is. Looking at the Blurple player has about 40 cards left in deck, I'd say. We're looking at a good old statistical anomaly here that he's been able to leverage and just trade out these genies and Elsas and everything else and the purple steel player has. And all right, okay, well, I guess we are just in the timeline where Elsa is the only card in both decks, which is fine. It's working for both of them. I think the purple steel player here has recognized that they're going to lose their Elsa to 2 more, but in where they could have just inked it and played the dock, having that other Elsa for this next turn to just keep those trades going is going to be very important. Yeah, when we lose our Elsa and we are down just to 1 Winnie the Pooh's best friend in shorts, which is not the best card in this moment, but you know what? He's going to do a purpose. And with perfect ink, we play the Pocahontas we just played or drew. We play the Elsa, we play the dock, get 2 in hand. And we are really at the point of this game where it's going to come down to whoever draws better. With it being deeper in the game, it is more favored for Blurple at this point. But all it's going to take is a Tipo or Basil draw here and Purple Steel to see some gas to see them run away with it. So from this moment, we are really just kind of at a who sees what, when, and why. And from here, the Isis comes down, exerts the board. Again, we lose that Elsa. And we pass. Oh, what do we see here? A Strength of a Raging Fire. So, right now with this turn, we can get rid of, most likely it's going to be I'd say we get rid of. And you know what? I think that's super fair because those are the 2 bodies, the Hades and the Isis, that can really trade through the purple steel deck. And keeping the Elsa and Tipo up, they're just not effective trade targets, but the Blurple player just likes drawing in 4s apparently, because we are out what I believe is a 3rd or 4th Cheshire Cat coming in off the top to just create another favorable board state and again take control back. And Hades is pretty good as well. And you have to bury the cat here. You can't give Purple Steel the 2 cards. That is the tempo they need in this moment to run away with this game. They're up on lore and they have a board state that is just a little more able to fight. Sail to draw a card into a Royal Guard. Genie, Dumbo, something like that could have been massive here. Royal Guard, not quite. And get the Cheshire Cat. Gonna boost, take out the Royal Guard, leaving it with 1 body on board for Blurple here. And just like that, this Purple Steel has somehow found a way to get back into this game, just drawing cards and drawing Hades more specifically. He is really looking for a deal. And he shot the Isis. The Isis, he made him draw 2. He couldn't just leave it with an Elsa. But he also just shot, and into a Yzma. And now Purple Steel is just doing Purple Steel things where they run out of gas, and within 2 turns, they're 4 wide with 6 bodies on the board, singing songs, flinging bodies. It's a mess. From here, does top deck the Demona. The Blurple leaves them with 2-3 ink now that he's inked. Maybe, again, unless he's got another. No. All right, never came back. Draw a card. I was going to say, we are pretty sure we're the Cheshire Cats. He's double ink now to make sure the Demona, if it goes sideways, with an Elsa, it just stays up. Elsa goes. And we draw. And, oh my god. He has seen a 3rd Hades in 3 turns. This is what dreams are made of. Underworld gods sniping gargoyle woman to the oblivion. And again, Purple Steel's just saying, you know what, screw it, you've given me all this ink and all these cards, I'm gonna go wide and just close out this game, and you can't stop me because Blurple just does not have the tools to deal with wide removal, especially when you've gone through so many Cheshire Cats and only have 2 cards in hand. It's just a hard task, but you know what? Another Demona makes that task just a little bit easier. Plays it off the top. He puts another body that is tough for Purple Steel to contest on board, followed by a Hades. This is just what Blurple does best, is puts the big bodies on board with that ramped ink and says, stop me. But it does not matter because 2 Cobras and all of that lore on board, call game. So that's game one. That was really I think if the Blurple player drew better tempo through their 5, 6, 7 ink turns, they could have run away with that sooner. And somehow every time as the game progressed, the Blurple player got control, Purple Steel just took it. So on here though, we're still mulliganing. Looks like we did a full 7, which means no strength and no curve. We just didn't like what we saw, so we went with it. Blurple got ahead of himself, did the standard Basil ink pass. What else can you expect? It's Blurple. From here, we're loving what we've seen. We have a 1, 2, 3 curve. We have a strength and a Thunderbolt. This is about as good as it can get for Purple Steel on the draw. Like, if we could switch Cobra for GG here, that would be really the best. And maybe if we could take Mim Skater and make her a Pocahontas, that'd even be better. But again, the second you can go 1, 2, 3 Strength, Thunderbolt, Genie, Hades looking for a deal, you have kind of just min-maxed. For me, you're inking this Hades here. You have 2 Genies to draw with. The removal is Purple Steel's edge here. And he inks the Strength, which is a choice, because to me that Strength is, if they can't Elsa that cat, how you get your edge back this turn. If you can play that Genie, sing Strength on their Genie, take it out, you've then developed a body of things, Thunderbolt next turn, taken their Genie down an edge, and really kind of taken momentum. Instead, we've lost the ability to have that really high impact song that Purple Steel is looking to do. Again, from here, I think I'm looking to ink this Hades. I think going double Genie's fine. Does opt for the Demona, not where I'd go. And he gets a strength. That's just never punished, always rewarded. The reason I ink the Hades here is I can play the Genie next turn, draw another card, and then get up to that Demona, get the reload, and that's what Purple Steel really needs here. I think the Hades 5 is fine. I think the Demona 6, if you can get to it, is better. And they're very fortunate to see a strength off that Genie, because if they don't and there's still 2 Genies on the opponent's side of the board, I think they're a lot more confident to maybe Demona, take out their Genie, do some other shenanigans, but it's not there. And we go Hades, and for me, it's give the Blurple player 2 cards here, and we don't. And the tough part about that is winning the Evasive War and Purple matchups as a whole is so tough. Genie is then able to trade through that Cheshire Cat that just sang, and this game is now really starting to run away from the Purple Steel player. I think if they left the Genie out, yes, the card draw for Blurple could be bad, but they at least still have a board presence that Blurple has to work through. Burying the Genie just kind of gives them what they want. I think they were very happy with that, and it's not in Purple Steel's best interest there. And again, we have to play another Genie now just to, again, reclaim board, get on top of it. Ink the Yzma, which is fine. I think potentially I'd be looking to ink it's probably the best, because we're going to need that Hades now to start getting control of the board, potentially drawing cards. Yzma's not doing a whole lot in control. She's more when you're even or ahead. So we're inking the Dembo here, and we're going Demona. And this game pretty much is over now, because the Blurple player is going to be able to trade through the entire board of the Purple Steel player here, while still maintaining 4 bodies wide. And truthfully, as long as those 3 cards that the Blurple player got off of that Demona are not just heaps and heaps of trash, they got a good chance of just making it through here. Yeah, again, he's going to let him draw 2 off the Hades. He's saying, look I'd rather have board than cards in my hand at this point. You can play your singular body and draw 2. I'm 4 wide and just going to keep going wider. Good luck. And again, another Demona. This game's just over at this point. Purple Steel cannot recover from 2, 5, 6, a 3, 4, and 2 Basils. Now nothing. Again, this is Purple Steel. The second the games get like this to Purple Steel, it's nothing short of a miracle. And yeah, it packs it up, recognizes this game is well out of reach. Gonna go to game 3. I'm gonna be on the play again and just see if we can get into a better position. Because yeah, there was a couple moments there. Again, the burying the Genie off the Hades, it's just probably the turning point of that matchup. If they chose not to do that, I think they could have been a better spot, but they didn't, and it's tough. And here we have 1, 2 strength. We got Olaf, Christopher Robin strength.
all we need is a 3-drop here. If we're really lucky, maybe a genie. And this game is looking real nice for purple steel. And yeah, we see the 3-drop. We have the 1, 2, 3. We have the dock. This is just what dreams are made of if you're purple steel. This is what you wake up in the middle of the night thinking of and just hoping you can emulate, and he is out here doing it. The big potential issue here is ink. If we don't draw an inkable card this turn, it's either Benja or Strength go into the inkwell, and that's not great. Fortunately, we do. We get that Hades in the inkwell, get the Benja out there to sing a song. Again, not so great this matchup. Maybe if they're on Ink Runner, doesn't look like this Blurple build is. And yeah, we're gonna just ink that Yzma, play a dock, no value, sing the Strength to kill the genie, play another dock, and yeah, we are just loving where we are now because we have an Olaf on board with 2 docks facing a very minimal board. We can draw with Demona, we can draw with dock, we have the GG to set down the evasive threat. There's just so many good things happening here for purple steel. It is really just doing what it wants to do at a high level. And it's why it's one of the top decks of this format, is that 1, 2, 3 strength curve on the play into so many matchups is just so punishing. And as long as purple steel can keep some momentum, which they certainly do have with, again, the Demona and Dock in hand, it's just really damn good for them. So yeah, we're going to see that Elsa and Royal Guard take out Benja. We're going to see Rafiki finish off the Christopher Robin, take him out. And this is great. We're just going to go into a genie. Again, I think I could have considered GG here. I think knowing we have the Demona to open up an Exert and take that favorable trade. GG is potentially the better card here, but we also don't then ink this turn if we do that. So I do think you do have to play the genie here. In a perfect world, you'd like to play the GG, but it's just not how it worked out. And yeah, we're now looking at a board state where purple steel has just options. It's, if they want to swing double Elsas into genie, that's fine, because then we know we can GG the next turn. If they went some other way, we can then know we can maybe start bouncing Olaf with Dock. This is me playing here. I'm probably looking just to ink the genie 3, or there is a world we can risk inking the Demona here and playing the GG and the genie, and then put all of our eggs in the basket of straight Demona. Interesting. I don't hate it. I will say, I think given the current state of the game, Blurple's at 5 ink, so Hades 7s, 2 turns off. We didn't maybe need to go to that Demona right away. I think we could have tried to set up a GG, so when we do go into it, we can guarantee some value and get a good trade. But at the same time, setting up a 5/6 that can sing in Quest for 2 is there. Oh, and it looks like he was actually hiding an ink. They were at 7 ink, so that Hades this turn makes a bit more sense now, because if we were to have dropped the GG, we would have just got punished. So the Demona play suddenly looks significantly better than what I initially evaluated, but couldn't see all the ink. And yeah, Blurple here is just questing those Elsas, saying, you have no evasive threats, I don't fear you. That's fine. And a Cheshire Cat here is great, because we can move 2 damage off the one Elsa to the other. He's going to play the Calhoun. And again, this is a matter of uninkables. If that Calhoun was an inkable card, I'd imagine it would have been inked, and we would have seen GG come down. But the other card in hand's a Thunderbolt. Can't get the GG down, so Calhoun's just another good option for building that wide board and putting some pressure. And the Dock quest for 1, or the Olaf, sorry, quest for 1, so he can bounce a Dock if that opportunity comes up. And he just kind of keeps on moving. Ink that never came back, get rid of the Cheshire Cat. Makes sense, it's just such a big tempo card here. And just like that, we have another Demona that can enter play. And I think that's most likely, yeah, now we're getting that good setup turn, getting the GG down, and this is great because realistically there's so few things that Blurple can do here that punishes. And we don't mind if they Demona first, because if they Demona first, we just get to come back down with one of our own, and they're going to have to ink here to make sure that, say we have an Elsa, it doesn't get stoned by daylight, but the fact we got our own Demona back means it does not matter. They're going to have 3 cards, and it's just a tough look because that Demona's now frozen, and they're not going to be able to do anything. So, yeah, I could see us going here, most likely inking this Angel. It's not the strongest card into Blurple. We just have significantly better options, and I think we'd rather try and draw through Demona to see them. So if we ink Angel here, as it's looking to happen, drop the Demona, see if we can get... Oh, we're just gonna strength. Okay, I think that's a fine turn. I think he's looking to say, I'm gonna strength for enough to then drop the Olaf and have him take out that one. I'm gonna lock your other Demona down, and then you're going to have singular Hades you can interact with this board. If you want to run through the GG, that's fine. Calhoun's gonna come back and take 2, and I'm just gonna keep on moving. So I think that's fine. I think it was a heads up play to get the strength out of hand, knowing you were going to be able to make that trade there. And then to lock the Demona down, take a body off board. It really comes down to how the Blurple player responds here. If they go Hades, a third Hades and a Into the Unknown, it could get a little rough. If they have another Demona of their own to lock yours down and then trade through, it could get a little rough. They do not. They just have the Elsa Into the Unknown, which again is not great. They are going to take out the GG, which again is not great for Purple Steel. And the bigger bodies they've established really have control. And to the surprise of no one at this point, it appears that we just have another Demona. Both these players just seem to love drawing cards in series, and when they draw one Demona, they draw 4. When they draw an Elsa, they draw 4. Cheshire Cats, all of them. So we are right back. That Demona is locked out. And this really just leaves, again, the Blurple player in a weird spot. He did ink an Elsa at the end of that turn. I personally would have kept it. I think we're at the point of the game where the evasive word does matter. And he had more than enough ink to next turn just play Genie Elsa. And if he doesn't get the dock, maybe get the Yzma trigger off to draw those cards instead. I think losing the Elsa there was just not needed. Probably would have been something I held on to just to strengthen the presence of my evasives on board the following turn. But at the same time, I just think I would have held on to it there. And we do see the Elsa come down on the Yzma. We're most likely going to see some shenanigans here. Where, okay, yeah, Cheshire Cat just being the powerful card it is, takes the 2 damage already on the Elsa, moves it to the hook. Both Elsas move through the Yzma, saying, you're not drawing cards, that's fine, go ahead. We go Genie, which is great, and we go Yzma, which is great. And there's a world where I do think you go Dock with no trigger here and pop that Cheshire Cat. And there's a little bit of Jesus take the wheel here to what that looks like if they're able to respond to the Yzma. They do only have 1 card in hand. We do know they've used multiple Hades and Elsas, so might not be needed. It does opt just to ink the strength and go through and quest the Demona. I understand wanting the lore. This game's going deeper. Their window to win's getting smaller. But having the Cheshire Cat on board just says that Demona gets traded into negatively for you there. I think you just have to be patient one more turn. Again, they have 1 card in hand, it appears. If it is a third Demona at this point, so be it. But if it's an Elsa or something, then they're forced to choose between your Yzma and your Demona. And they can't have everything. It forces them to choose which lane they are going to take and how they think they're going to win this game. So it is an Isis, which is effectively an Elsa. But again, under the same thing. Having the Demona already opened here, it's going to mean they get to take 2 things positively rather than just the one they would get to take with the Isis. It still would probably be the Yzma getting tapped down here, I'd imagine. The draw threat's so big. It's the Dock. Interesting. Okay, I'm curious to see what the second card that the Blorple player is.
It's letting go. Okay, so that makes sense why the Yzma isn't targeted. It's easier to swing through the dock than it is the Yzma. It just makes more sense. And yeah, I'd imagine Demona swings through here. We're then going to see the Cheshire Cat get boosted. The damage from Demona, yep, goes on, takes there, and they're just in a really great spot here, the Blorple player. This is really their game to win from this point. It's hard to mess up. We do see an Elsa come in, which is interesting because I think there's a world in which you could play this Elsa, take something out, bounce the Elsa, finish it off. Like, play the Elsa, take out the Cheshire Cat, or hit the Cheshire Cat, use the Olaf to finish it off, bounce the Elsa again, take out an Elsa, and clear off 3 things this turn potentially. So he's bouncing the Genie here, which is fine. I think I'm bouncing the Elsa personally. I think I want to take out that other Elsa and just say, you have no hand, you can't deal with my evasive bodies, this is tough for you. And yeah, if they do have, say, a Cheshire Cat, they can still move the damage to the Genie and kill it there, but I don't know. I think I just want to get that extra Elsa off board on the chance that this opens up. All right, we do see the Cheshire Cat. It is going to we're going to take some damage here off of the Elsa, I'd imagine. Move it onto the Elsa, just take it off the board. I feel like that has to be, or no, we're going to take it off. We're going to take off the Elsa, which makes more sense. And then leave it in a position where the Blorple player says, if your Genie wants to hit this Elsa, that's fine. I'm going to move the damage from the Demona onto that Genie after and just kind of break you out. Unless you get a Cheshire Cat of your own here. No, we have a 4th Demona. All right, so yeah, again, why draw on anything else when you can just draw one of the most impactful cards of the game consistently? And he gets that Cheshire Cat off of it. He takes the 2, swings it through, boosts it, off there, take it. There's a small part of me that thinks you maybe bounce the Cheshire Cat there just to get the card. You have enough ink just to replay it next turn. I understand he's wanting to quest and win the game, but just to guarantee you could protect that could be worth it. It might not be needed. I think I might be looking to protect it there. It's probably the most impactful card to how this board state develops, and he gets to draw an extra card alongside it. So that would have probably been something I considered, but at the end of the day, that's an immaculate turn from a board state that went from Blorple just being well and away ahead to within 1 Demona, the Purple Steel player being able to trade out 3 bodies and just get back in. We do see Demona get let it go. We see Dumbo come down. And I think this game is teetering on its last legs because with just Genie exerted, the Purple Steel can't be hit since that Dumbo just came down. We're going to quest for 5, 6, 7. And with the Cobra he just drew, that's game. And that's week 2 of our league play. Purple Steel just doing what it does at the highest level possible and somehow getting the best of Blorple that no matter when it got control, it just stole the game. So thanks for watching. Leave a like, subscribe, let us know how you feel about the video in the comments below, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks.